ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। We will continue the bhashya. Sarvatra cha prashastam bodhavyam cha kartavyameva na nishprayojanam bodhavyam ityuchyate na cha मिथ्याज्ञानम् बोद्धव्यं भवति तत्प्रत्युपस्थापितं वा वस्त्वाभासम्। भाष्यकार सिद्धांति is refuting the interpretation of Vrittikara with various reasons, various logics. According to Vrittikara, karmani akarmayah pashyati. So, karma is nitya karma, and nitya karma should be understood as akarma, absence of karma. In reality, it is karma. He does not say it is not real. It is real for him. The real karma is looked upon as akarma. And the akarma, non-performance of nitya karma, it is also real for him. And it should be looked upon as karma. This kind of an understanding is not a samyak jnana. It is not a proper knowledge, not a right knowledge. Seeing karma as akarma. Either it should be mithya jnanam or it should be gauna jnanam. If you don't see the difference between them, it is mithya jnanam. Like seeing the rope as snake, then it is mithya jnanam. If you are aware of the difference, yet you call it karma, yet you call it akarma, karma is called akarma, then it is gauna jnanam. you know the difference between mithya jnanam and gauna jnanam. So either ways, it is not samyak jnana. If a jnana gives a phala, then it should be samyak jnana. Samyak jnana gives a phala. Like in the example of rope snake, understanding it as a rope, it is not snake, it is just a rope. This understanding is a samyak jnana. Therefore, it has phala. You are free from the fear of the snake. So, samyak jnana is a phalavat jnana. Mithya jnana and gauna jnana are not phalavat jnana. They do not produce any phala. Since they do not produce any phala, they don't deserve glorification. As yajñātva mokshase shubhat sa buddhiman manusyeshu sayuktah krishna karma krit. Glorification. These glorifications cannot be attributed to mithya jnanam as well as gauna jnanam. Therefore, since we find the glorification of this vision, glorification of the vision conveyed by the statement karmanya karma yah pashyed ityadi, it cannot be mithya jnanam and it cannot be gauna jnanam also. Therefore, it has to be samyak jnanam. And if it is samyak jnanam, then Purvapakshi's interpretation cannot be accepted. See, sarvatra cha, sarvatra, everywhere, loke vedecha, in the world as well as in the Veda, prashastam bodhavyancha, prashastam, what is glorified, and bodhavyam, what is mentioned as bodhavya, what is to be understood, what should be understood is kartavyam eva. Kartavyam should be understood as saprayojanam ityarthaha. Something which has a purpose. Something which has a phala. Saprayojanam. Saphalam eva prashastam bodhavyam bhavati. Only something which is useful alone is glorified, and it should be understood. Everywhere in the Shastra, mainly in the Shastra, in the Loka there may be some gossip. Sometimes people gossip. So it is aprashasta abodhavya. Even the Vedanta students sometimes gossip. So gossip will always take a person away from moksha. Not only the person who is gossiping, one who tries to listen to the gossip attentively also. So if someone gossips, just politely refuse to listen to that person. So, sarvatra, everywhere, Prashastam bodhavyancha kartavyam eva. Kartavyam means saprayojanam eva prashastam bodhavyam ityuchyate. Natu nishprayojanam bodhavyam ityuchyate. Nishprayojanam, something which is useless, something which does not produce any phala. It is not mentioned as bodhavyam. But here this vision is mentioned as bodhavyam. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam bodhavyancha vikarmanaha. And it is also prashastam. It is glorified. Nacha mithyajnanam bodhavyam bhavati. Mithyajnanam does not become bodhavya. Mithyajnanam is not something which should be understood with effort, because it is not going to produce any desirable result. Tat pratyupasthapitam va vastvabhasam. So mithyajnanam as well as the vastvabhasa presented by mithyajnanam. See, mithyajnanam is the knowledge, the perception. When you see snake in the rope, your jnana, sarpa jnana is mithyajnana. It is a mistake, a knowledge which is a mistake. So it is called mithyajnana. It is in the form of a cognition. And in the process of mithyajnanam, you are seeing a vastu abhasa. The sarpa which you are seeing, it is a mithya vastu. The mithya sarpa. The sarpa which is presented to you by the sarpajnana. So, mithyajnanam as well as there is a vastu abhasa. So, when you see rope snake, two things happen simultaneously. You superimpose a rope and there is a rope jnana. So, you superimpose a snake and you perceive a snake. So, snake jnana and a snake which is superimposed. The vastvabhasa is the snake. It is not a vastu, it is vastu abhasa. And then there is mithya jnanam. The knowledge which is not a valid knowledge. It is called a bhrama. The mithya jnanam is called bhramaha. A correct knowledge is called prama. A valid knowledge is a prama. If you see rope as rope, it is a valid knowledge. It is called prama. If you see the snake in the rope, it is bhramaha or mithya jnanam. Mithya chata jnanancha mithya jnanam. The jnana which is wrong is called mithya jnana. Then there is a snake, which is the object of mithya jnana. It is called Vastvabhasam by Bhashyakara. Technically, in Vedanta Shastra, the superimposed object is called Arthadhyasa, and the cognition of the superimposed object, Mithya Jnanam, it is called Jnanadhyasa. Arthadhyasa and Jnanadhyasa. It's a little aside. I am just giving a precursor to what we will study later on when we go to Brahma Sutra Adhyasa Bhashya. One is Arthadhyasa, another is Jnanadhyasa. The superimposed object is called Arthadhyasa, and the cognition of the superimposed object, it is called Jnanadhyasa. So, Mithya Jnanam as well as the Vastvabhasa, the Jnanadhyasa as well as Arthadhyasa, neither of them produce any desirable result. Therefore, it does not deserve any glorification, and it is not something which should be known with effort. Therefore, the vision mentioned by Bhagavan in this shloka cannot be Mithya Jnanam, and with the same logic it cannot be Gauna Jnana also, because even Gauna Jnana does not produce any phala. Therefore, it has to be Samyak Jnanam. Therefore, Purvapakshi's interpretation cannot be valid, cannot be accepted. And now he is giving another reason why Purvapakshi is incorrect. Napi Nityanam Akaranat Abhavat Pratyavaya Bhavotpattihi. So, previously we have refuted Purvapakshi by accepting for time being that non-performance of Nitya Karma gives rise to Akarma, gives rise to Phala, Pratyavaya. If you look at Purvapakshi's interpretation, Akarmani cha karmayaha, Karmani akarmayah pashyet, and Akarmani cha karmayaha, both are based on the assumption, based on Purvapakshi's principle that Nitya Karma do not have any phala, and non-performance of Nitya Karma leads to a phala called Pratyavaya. Non-performance of Nitya Karma gives rise to Pratyavaya. This is Purvapaksha. So far we refuted Purvapaksha without negating this point, this contention of Purvapakshi. But now Bhashyakara says, even the very basic idea based on which the basis of your interpretation, Your interpretation is based on this fundamental principle. Non-performance of nitya karma gives rise to pratyavaya. This very basis of your interpretation is illogical. So we are refuting Purvapakshi's assertion that nitya karma, non-performance of nitya karma gives pratyavaya. Already we have seen this earlier. Now again, Bhashyakara is refuting pratyavaya as a product of non-performance of nitya karma. Here we should understand that Bhashyakara is not negating pratyavaya altogether. If you do not perform nitya karma, you are bound to get pratyavaya. But it is not a product of non-performance of nitya karma. It is because of some other karma which you perform without performing nitya karma. That will produce pratyavaya. If you perform nitya karma, the other karmas that you perform, which will produce evil result, are mitigated. That is how nitya karma cancels the pratyavaya produced by some other karmas. So now we are refuting pratyavaya as a direct result of non-performance of nitya karma, as a product of the akaranam, absence of nitya karma. नापि नित्यानाम अकरणात् अभावात् प्रत्यवाय भावोत्पत्तिः. नित्यानाम अकरणात्, because of non-performance of nitya karma, abhavat, the non-performance of nitya karma is an abhava. From the abhava, pratyavaya cannot come, because pratyavaya is a bhava. It is a positive thing. It is a presence. From the absence, a presence cannot come. Pratyavaya bhavotpattihi na bhavati. Pratyavaya, which is a bhava. Pratyavayaha eva bhavaha. Tasya utpattihi na bhavati. It is not possible from non-performance of nitya karma. Why? Na sato vidyate bhavaha iti vachanat katham asatas sajjayeta iti cha darshitam asataha सज्जन्म प्रतिषेधात्. असतः सज्जन्म प्रतिषेधात्. This is the hetu. Why bhava cannot come from abhava. Asatah sajjanma, the origin of sat, origin of existence from non-existence, is negated in the Shastra. Also, it is logically not possible. Bhashyakara quotes Smriti as well as Shruti, where asataha sajjanma is negated. The origin of sat from asat, asatah, panchami vibhakti, from asat is negated. नासतो विद्यते भावः इति वचनात्. नासतो विद्यते भावः. This statement of Bhagavad Gita negates asatah sajjanma. And katham asatas sajjayeta iti cha darshitam. How can sat come from asat? This question is raised in, this objection is raised in Chandogya Upanishad. It's not an objection, it is a negation. Akshepa. Katham iti aksheparthe. How can asat come from, how can sat come from asat? Means asat cannot produce sat. असतः सदुत्पत्तिं ब्रुवता असदेव सद्भवेत् सत् च असद्भवेत् इत्युक्तं स्यात् तच्च अयुक्तं सर्वप्रमाणविरोधात्. असतः sadutpattim bruvata. One who talks about the origin of sat from asat. If someone makes the statement sat comes from asat, then Bhashyakara says what that statement will imply. What will be the implication of the statement sat comes from asat? Bhashyakara says this statement will imply that asat can become sat and sat can become asat. If milk becomes curd, it means milk changes into curd. Curd comes from milk, means milk changes into curd. Milk transforms into curd. Similarly, if you say sat comes from asat, it is as good as saying that asat changes into sat. Asat transforms into sat. And perhaps the reverse is also possible according to him. If one can become another, the another also may become the other. Sat can become asat. Existence can transform into non-existence. It is not possible because there is no pramana. All pramanas are against it. No pramana justifies this possibility. Sarva pramana virodhat. Shruti pramana, Anumana pramana, Pratyaksha pramana. If you take any pramana, no pramana is in favor of sat becoming asat or asat becoming sat. So, asatah sadutpattim bruvata. One who talks about sadutpatti from asat. One who talks about the origin of sat from the asat. What does he imply? Asadeva sadbhavet. Asat itself becomes sat. And satcha asadbhavet. sat becomes asat iti uktam syat. This is what his statement implies. Taccha ayuktam, it is not logical because sarva pramana virodhat, all pramanas, all means of knowledge are against it. न च निष्फलं विदध्यात् कर्मशास्त्रं दुःखस्वरूपत्वात् दुःखस्य च बुद्धिपूर्वकतया कार्यत्वानुपपत्तेः. Now Bhashyakara is refuting another contention of Purva Pakshi. Nitya karma does not have any phala. Performance of Nitya karma does not have any phala. This principle of Purva Pakshi is being negated. Previously, Purva Pakshi Siddhanti negated non-performance of Nitya karma gives pratyavaya. This is negated. This argument of Purva Pakshi is negated. Now he negates the other part. What is it? Performance of Nitya karma does not give any phala. This principle is being negated now. So, if you say performance of Nitya karma does not give any phala, then what will happen? No, Chitta Shuddhi Purva Pakshi doesn't accept. According to Purva Pakshi, Nitya karma does not have any phala. Then we are asking the Purva Pakshi, who enjoins Nitya karma? Shastra. Shastra enjoins Nitya karma, and that Nitya karma does not have any phala. If you do it. If you do it, you don't get any positive benefit. What you get is only some fatigue. You get tired, that's all. You perform Agnihotra. In the morning, you get to breathe some smoke. You expose yourself to smoke, that's all. If it is winter, there may be some phala. You will get some heat in performing the Nitya karma. But in summer, it is only a torture. It is only ayasa bahulya. It is not going to give any positive benefit. So, Shastra is enjoining something which is of no positive use. In that case, you are trying to say that the Shastra is enjoining useless things. The Shastra will not enjoin things that are of no use. If Shastra is enjoining something, it should be meant for a desirable result. Because Shastra is committed to reveal upaya, means for something desirable. That is the purpose of Shastra. The Shastra reveals upaya for an ishta, an ishtaphala. It reveals ishta sadhanam, sadhana for a desirable result. Shastra does not reveal sadhana for anishtaphala. Shastra is not a pramana for anishta sadhana. Revealing anishta sadhanam is not the purpose of Shastra. Therefore, Bhashyakara says, Karma Shastram. So, Karma Shastram is together or separate in your book? Separate, yeah. In that case, you can connect karma with the nishphalam. Shastram nishphalam karma na vidadhyat. The Shastra will never enjoin a nishphala karma, a karma which does not have phala. Therefore, since the Shastra enjoins the nitya karma, we should accept that the nitya karma has some phala. Dukkha rupatvat. Why Shastra will not enjoin a nishphala karma? Because the nishphala karma will only be a dukkha in nature. It will only cause dukkha. You have to perform it. And the performance of karma involves effort, pain. If it is done without any purpose, what is the use of it? Dukkhasya cha buddhipurvakataya karyatvanupapattehe. And nobody will do an action if it is giving only a dukkha. Dukkhasya, a dukkha, is not performed, is not accomplished deliberately. Buddhipurvakataya, deliberately one will not accomplish a dukkha, a pain. Therefore, if someone understands that nitya karma is not giving any phala, why will he perform the nitya karma? Tadakarane cha narakapātābhyupagame anarthāya eva ubhayathapi karane akarane cha shastram nishphalam kalpitam syat. Then Purvapakshi says, Nitya karma itself does not have any phala, but if you don't do nitya karma, you are going to go to naraka. Therefore, better do nitya karma. That is Shastra's idea. That is the idea of nitya karma. Then we are telling the Purvapakshi, if you perform the nitya karma, the performance itself is painful and you are not getting any positive result. Therefore, performance itself is dukkha, as it involves pain, as it involves smoke, etc. So, karane dukkham. If you perform, it is dukkha. Pain without gain. And if you don't do also, you are in trouble. You are going to get dukkha. In that case, the Shastra is troubling you. The Shastra is torturing you. You do also, you are in trouble. If you don't do also, you are in trouble. Therefore, we are telling Purva Pakshi, in your interpretation of the Shastra, you are victimizing the you are victimizing the Shastra itself. According to you, the Shastra is disastrous. Instead of being useful to the people, the Shastra is disastrous to the people, according to you. Because it is revealing something which is only giving you trouble instead of any benefit. So, akarane cha, in non-performance of nitya karma, narakapātābhyupagame, if one accepts narakapāta, falling into naraka is accepted, abhyupagame, if it is accepted as a result of non-performance of nitya karma. Narakapāta is a result of pratyavaya. Ubhayatha api, karane akarane cha. Ubhayatha, in both ways. Karane akarane cha, in performance as well as non-performance. Anarthaya eva, nitya karma is anarthaya. Nitya karma is going to be disastrous. It leads to undesirable result only. Therefore, Shastram nishphalam kalpitam syat. According to you, the Shastra which enjoins nitya karma is nishphalam. It is futile. This is your kalpana. Kalpitam syat. You are imagining that the Shastra is nishphala by interpreting so. And it is not desirable. It is an injustice to the Shastra itself. Swabhyupagama virodhascha nityam nishphalam karma ityabhyupagamya mokshaphalaya iti bruvataha. Then, to save himself, Purva Pakshi may say, performance of nitya karma leads to moksha. If you perform nitya karma, you will get moksha. Then we are telling the Purva Pakshi, then you are contradicting your own philosophy. Initially you said performance of nitya karma does not have any phala, and now you are saying nitya karma is necessary for moksha. It is as good as saying nitya karma which does not have any phala has moksha phala. Nitya karma which does not have any phala has moksha as its phala. It is a self-contradictory statement. Nityam nishphalam karma ityabhyupagamya. Initially you accepted nityakkarma is nishphalam. Nityam karma nishphalam iti abhyupagamya. Initially accepting that nityakarma is nishphala, then mokshaphalaya, then you say nityakarma is meant for mokshaphala. Then iti bruvataha, when you are saying so, swabhyupagama virodhascha, you are contradicting your own abhyupagama, your own philosophy, your own view. Abhyupagama means the contention, the principle that one has accepted. One's own conclusions is called swabhyupagama, means swasiddhanta. Swabhyupagama means swasiddhanta. It contradicts your own siddhanta. Tasmat yathashrutaha eva arthaha कर्मण्य कर्मयः इत्यादेः तस्मात् therefore कर्मणि अकर्मयः पश्येत् इत्यादेः श्लोकस्य the shloka कर्मणि अकर्मयः पश्येत् etc. यथाश्रुतः एव अर्थः, its meaning is as it is shrutam, as it is told by Bhagavan and as interpreted by us. You don't have to imagine a different meaning for karmanya karmayah pashyet. तथा च व्याख्यातः अस्माभिः श्लोकः, and the shloka is interpreted by us according to the very words of the shloka. The meaning of the shloka is yathashruta, means you have to take the meaning of the words as they are. Don't supply a different meaning from the actual words of the shloka. And that is how we have interpreted Siddhanti says. The Siddhanti's interpretation does not involve an imagination other than what is there in the shloka. In Purvapakshi's interpretation, he gives up the original meaning of the words of the shloka and he supplies a different meaning altogether. Whereas Siddhanti's interpretation does not compromise with the very words of the shloka, does not do injustice to the very words of the shloka. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.